Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of The Late Challenge. I'm Mo Stewart, that's Gareth Roberts. Now, I was going to apologise for being a little bit late, but hey, we're used to the late show by now, aren't we? We're watching Liverpool, it's 88, it's 100, it's 83, it's 95. It doesn't matter how many minutes are gone, Liverpool can still find a way to win a game. We will be talking about that. We'll be talking about breaking hearts in Burnley and boiling piss all over the country with Liverpool's late goals. We'll also be talking about what's massive week that's coming up. European football is coming back. The Merseyside derby is coming back. But I don't know about you, Raf, but 4 wins out of 4. Like, all late goals. Surely this can't go on.
It can.
Hey!
The amount of people that senses that thing, like, what was it, 38 last minute winners. It can't go on like this, can it? Or you can't win the league like that, or whatever. Yeah, there was so many variations of it. So many people senses it. Thanks to all. And yes, every time it was still funny, to be fair, because that's how I roll. Like, once there's a joke in my head, there's a joke in my head. And so the obvious end point to this is Mick comes on the show and says it himself.
Yeah, it has to be the only way. In fact, I'm not even sure that would get it out of our head. Like, no, there's no closure.
Have you seen he's got his own podcast?
I have. Yeah, the managers. It can. See?
Should just do this.
It's like an Mick tennis.
Just do this for the whole show.
Trust me, I do have more on the agenda than just Mick McCarthy jokes, but I don't think we're ever going to stop doing them because it's not stopped being funny yet. And yeah,
should we make t-shirts and they just say it can on them?
I think we need to ask him first. But yeah,
I mean, it only say it can, no face. He doesn't own words, does he?
That's a fair point.
It can.
Think I just found a decent loophole there.
That can't work, can it?
It can. All right. That's enough now. Otherwise, we will literally be doing it all show. Yeah, there is some football to talk about. Liverpool. I think we can fair to say it wasn't the greatest Liverpool performance yesterday. You and I were both there in different parts of the ground. It sounded like it was a lot more enjoyable in your end than where I was sitting, which is deep in the heart of the Burnley faithful who, let's face it, did not enjoy the way that game ended. But we've seen lots online since, in the last however many hours it's been since the game, about lucky Liverpool and about how, they don't deserve this. How have they only just struggled to beat a promoted Burnley, yada, yada, yada. Let me read out some stats for you. Liverpool, 27 shots. Burnley, 3 shots. Liverpool, 4 shots on target, which isn't a lot from 27, let's be fair. Burnley, 0 shots on target. Liverpool 81% possession, Burnley 19%. Liverpool 13 corners, Burnley 1. So,
any touches in the box? I think it was about 50 odd for
55
Liverpool.
And Liverpool had 65 in the first 3 games and then 55 in this game. And 14 of those 27 shots were inside the box. So it wasn't like they were just blamming it from anywhere either. So you can say that the winning moment happened late, but I think you can also say it had been coming.
Yeah, exactly. I think from the very first game, I mean, like, it was. I found it funny, like, watching Match of the Day 2 later on, and it was like, obviously it was on late because not loads happened. And I was like, what are they going to show from, like, their perspective? And they just showed that lad having a shot that wasn't even that close near the start. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was the Burnley highlights. And look, they just sat in and look, you can... I haven't got a problem with that. Like, it's going to happen to Liverpool over and over again. And it's happened to Liverpool over and over again through all the time I've been watching them. And there's all the arguments, which are correct arguments about, well, what do you want them to do? Open up, get battered, or try and win a point that could prove crucial for them. And they've proven in the Championship that they've got a good defence. If they go all out against that Liverpool side, likely it is we take them apart. What I don't get is the stuff like they deserve the points and things like that. Well, they didn't,
Yeah.
because we scored one more than them. That's how it works. It's as simple as that. And like, I think it's really funny about the lucky stuff and the not playing well stuff and all of that kind of stuff. We've won away from home. We've got 3 points away from home. No one connected to Liverpool will give a flying fuck about how it happened. They will all be happy on that coach going home. Arne Slot will be happy on that coach going home. And of course, there's stuff to work on and improve, but he wouldn't have expected any different.
No.
When you're incorporating this number of changes to a side in a short space of time, it's not going to click. It's not going to be clever. It's not going to be beautiful. It's not going to be Brazil 1970. So I'm absolutely delighted with the fact that, you know, we're 4 out of 4, we're 12 out of 12, we're top of the league, we're 3 points clear, and on we go. And it's only going to get better from here on in. And so, you know, where's the fire? There isn't one. And it's like, you know, everyone's got to talk about something and say something. And, you know, for rival fans or whatever, they've got to come up with something negative. And yet I look at the last 2 games and think, well, hang on a minute. The games before that, you were all saying we couldn't defend. Now, all of a sudden, we're not giving up any shots. We're not conceding any goals. So what's the problem now? We're boring, we're lucky, we're fluky. Okay, well, what's it going to be when we thump someone? What will be the reason then? what will you have to say then? Because I think we've given up against Arsenal and Burnley something like 7 shots. And only a couple of them were on target.
Yeah.
So that sounds all right to me in terms of what we're doing in terms of stopping the opposition. And then we can all see that, you know, there's plenty of armoury going the other way. There's £125 million worth of talent in Isak to be joining in sometime soon, probably Wednesday night. So, happy days.
Yeah.
Happy days.
I agree with you. And to be honest, both managers agree with you in terms of Burnley's tactics. I think Arne Slot said they were well within their rights to defend that way. Makes sense for them to try and make it hard for Liverpool to win the game. I mean, Scott Parker himself, I'll read out the quote, he said, you can't open space against Liverpool. You open space and they're deadly. They want space. They want you to speed up their attacks. We came in with a plan to not do that. And for the majority of the game, we did that really well. The problem is, the majority of the game is not all of the game. And when you add it to what happened to them last week against Man United, where, oh yeah, they conceded a penalty in the last minute and lost the game, you can understand why they're a little bit upset. But the reasons, this is kind of the downside of the way that they play. It's all well and good setting yourself up to be hard to beat, but you do generally need to try and score. And I mean, yes, they scored 2 goals against United, but I mean, come on. We've seen that defence.
I mean, I think maybe there's some Scott Parker scars and all this as well after Bournemouth being beaten 9-0 at Anfield. So maybe he's a little bit like, I remember what happened last time I tried to, like, you know, play a little bit against Liverpool. So I don't fancy that this time around. And look, you know, he's a couple of minutes away from getting a point, and everyone would have been saying well in and, you know, and all the rest of it, but it wasn't to be. And you know, look, it was hilarious, wasn't it, in terms of like a Schadenfreude type moment in that, you know, their fans are singing about this Hannibal blade. Yes. And apparently he's in our heads. Well, I think he's probably in your head, actually, lads, after that handball so late on in the game. So it was quite beautiful, that. And also, you know, he's the same lad who, when he was wearing a Man U shirt, decided to run around booting a few of ours.
Yes, he did.
So, yeah, turned out nice again. Up their heads.
I must admit, when I heard they were singing this song, I was just thinking a little bit like, why are they singing this song? Is it because of the United connection? Are they trying to get some kind of, you know, rivalry going between us and this Burnley substitute? And then, yeah, I mean, he injected himself into our story pretty nicely. But I've got another stat here for you. Liverpool are the first side in Premier League history to win 4 consecutive games thanks to winning goals scored in the final 10 minutes. Now, again, this feeds into the whole, it was lucky because it was late on. But this ignores the fact that this team is so used to winning games late on like that, they never give up. Yeah. They're always trying to score, no matter how many minutes left, no matter how much injury time's gone, how many times they've booted the ball away or thrown a man in front of it. They're like, no, we've still got time. Until that whistle blows, we've still got time. And the more you do it, the more you think you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, and Arne Slot's not a man for taking a point either, is he? I mean, you know, we could have easily just gone, well, it is what it is, and, you know, I'll sort of see it out. We've got a game Wednesday, we've got an early kick-off on Saturday against Everton. It is what it is type of thing. But it was like, no, I'm going for it. I'm putting every possible attacker on the pitch. And, you know, when we nearly score from two of them combining before the penalty, then we get a penalty and put the penalty away, and happy days. And yeah, I thought even that, you know, like, I'm not Kaye's biggest fan, as I've said many a time, and so I was actually fuming that the substitutions were that way around. I'm like, why isn't Rio on there? I want to see Rio. I don't want to see Chiesa. But Chiesa had the chance as well. He probably should have scored.
Immediately.
Yeah, probably should have scored. So, you know, it was disrupting them. It was causing them problems. And, you know, we kept on getting in the box. And, like, look, it was frustrating. And, like, you know, I thought a lot of the play was like a bit too deliberate almost. It was like there was always one or two passes too many. It was a bit too slow. You know, like I get that, you know, sort of Burnley's, you know, tactics was to, you know, clog up the middle of the pitch basically. So you've got to sort of go round them. So that being the case, then get it to those lads quicker. Get it out to them quicker and tell them to run at the full. But it was like out to the winger, if you want to call them that, out to the wide lad, back in again, across, out, back. And it was like, it's too slow, it's too deliberate, and it's too obvious. You need to do something a little bit different here, lads. And they did second half, to be fair. I thought, you know, they loaded the box a bit more, and Wirtz came alive a little bit more.
He did.
Still not to the standard that you want, and there's still definitely more to come, but I don't see that being any particular crisis. It's just, again, get used to the league, get used to the refs, get used to everything, teammates and all the rest of it. Again, I'm just sort of fine with it, and I think as well, there's a real beauty of, like, I reckon if I was sitting in here right now talking to you and I'd watched it on the telly, maybe I'd be talking about it slightly differently. Yeah. But being there and seeing the absolute crestfallen disappointment of all their fans, it's just glorious. Like that's what you go away for. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the day, it's the trip, and then it's getting to see that, and it's getting to look in the whites of eyes of their fans and be like. And that might make me a wanker, but we've all got that wanker inside us. We've all got that bell end on our shoulder. We love that moment in football, and you know, so to me, that's a perfect way to go and win. You know, like, yeah, we all want to see 4s and 5s and great goals and all the rest of it, but equally grinding one out, doing it in the last minute or later than the last minute again, and sort of boiling the nation's piss, as you said in your intro, absolutely glorious. And you know, you just, I love when, you know, the tweets will get pumped up to the top because everyone's laughing at them. And I'll just log in and I'll see, like, you know, this minute. You can't keep doing that. Yeah, you said that last season, lads. And we did keep doing it. And we won the league. So here we are again. Are you saying we can't do it again? Are you saying it? Because remember, we're the fucking champions.
Damn right. You say that you enjoyed seeing the whites of their eyes when they were crestfallen. Maybe you would have actually enjoyed it more where I was sat the way you were sat, because there was lots of that. I mean, I think as the game was going on, there were lots of the Burnley fans who didn't agree with a lot of the referee's decisions, and there was a lot of anger around all that stuff. But
it was bollocks.
But I don't, when it came to...
I mean, how's the Premier League corrupt? A player's nearly fucking snapped the ankle of one of our players, and he's only got a yellow for it. If anything, he should have fucking gone.
So this is the funny thing about it.
So how's it corrupt, lads?
I mean, because I was sitting behind them, and I had the benefit of a replay screen right in front of me. So all the decisions, they were like, oh, I can't believe it. I almost felt like just turning it around and being like, look.
Yeah, have a look.
Sorry, you're chatting shit, I'm afraid. But, I mean, fans are always going to do that, aren't they? Everyone kind of has that mentality, they're all against them. That was funny enough. Even funnier than that, I had the BBC Radio Lancashire commentator sitting behind me, who's obviously a little bit Burnley-centric. And some of the stuff that he was coming out with, there was one moment where, I forget who he was saying, it was like, oh, I think it was the Bradley tackle, and it was like, oh, he's lucky to already get a yellow card there. And I just kind of went... Because he was literally just sitting right behind me. And David Unsworth was his co-commentator, and David just like pissed himself because clearly he knew. It's just like, yeah, I think you're...
Especially the way he fucking played.
Exactly, yeah. It's not even a yellow, that.
Christ.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was very much like you got to you got to see all of the, and the thing is as well, is with them getting so far into the game where it was 0-0, they started to believe. They started to believe that they'd done it, and they were starting to get a little bit more buoyant. Every time that we missed one, the cheers got louder. They got louder. Think we're gonna do it. We're gonna stifle the mighty Liverpool. But no, they didn't.
And you can just imagine fucking Arteta throwing a roast dinner at the fucking at the telly back home, can't you? You know what I mean? His Lego hair falling off the little dimple on the top of his head.
We're not allowed to call him Lego.
We're not allowed to call him Lego head. All right, Lego head. Gareth Percival's thrown in £5 into the live chat, and he says probably one for the Patreon show later, but just a shout out for Ricky Hatton, one of the few good Mancs. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Thanks for that first of all, and then secondly, you're spot on. It was just one of those, like, felt like time had stood still for all the messages started coming through. Actually, the first one I saw, it was like, have you seen what's happened with Ricky Hatton? And I was like, I thought he'd done something, or you know what I mean? I didn't think he was dead. And then it was just like, shit. And I heard a very good point on the radio before. I'm surprise. I'm really cynical about going on about someone I don't know, and going too over the top on social media about things like that. But I noticed this as well, this point that was made. I could have, if I wanted, thrown up a picture of me and Ricky Hatton from the other week.
It was the first thing I thought of.
Because it was, I think I mentioned on the Patreon show where we did talk about Oasis a few weeks ago. He was at Oasis, he was at Croke Park. He was right by us. And a couple of the lads I was with, went over and got a pitch with him and all that. And I didn't want to do that. I thought, just leave him to it. Like, he's with his group of mates, and he's enjoying the concert the same way we are. And, that's more where I'm at. But when we were having a group picture, he come and gagged into our group picture and got, like, I've got his arm around me, and he's on our picture, laughing his head off. And he was having a great time. He was dancing around. He was clearly enjoying himself. And yeah, it's incredibly sad, isn't it? It just shows you just don't know what's going on in people's minds. And, it's just, it's really, really sad, really, really shocking. And but sorry, I'll get back to the point I was trying to make. Someone said on the radio today, when you're looking around on social media, there's so many people who've posted a picture of them and Ricky Hatton.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like, so many people that I know. And it just shows you that he was obviously sound.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because some people are funny about stuff like that. And I sort of get why they want the privacy and they don't want to be disturbed, but you always felt like he had time for whoever. And he's just an absolutely ordinary boss fella.
That's just, the thing. He never forgot what it's like to just be someone who's just a normal fella.
Well, ordinary in terms of being a fella, definitely not ordinary in terms of boxing ability, obviously. No. But yeah, very, very sad. Very, very sad.
It was. And fitting, in fact, that City did the business yesterday for him as well. I mean, I don't know if you got to see the tribute they did before the game. That was really nice.
Yeah, I've seen her on a match of the day and stuff later on, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was in our plans to bring it up at some point, but yeah, I'm glad that we got a chance to shout him out, because it was a weird part of the day for sure. Getting back to our game then, I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole Kirkes situation, because it kind of shocked me, because it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I'd seen obviously the dive because it was like right in front of my face. Don't worry, we'll find out what the fuck that face was about in a minute. I'd seen him dive because it was right in front of me, and I just thought, that wasn't very good. It wasn't a good dive. It was an obvious one, and then there's a free kick on halfway, but I wasn't really thinking like, oh yeah, it's about to go. Like, I remember the derby at Everton where he hooks Bradley because he's scared of him getting a yellow card. That one you could feel like, okay, there's definitely gonna be something coming. It didn't quite feel that way this time. But Slot, once again, absolutely ruthless.
Oh, he doesn't give a fuck, does he? I mean, I like that about him, though, don't get me wrong. I mean, even, we can't really sort of truly know all the ins and outs of the Isak thing, but just on the surface level, from what I see, I'm like, to just go, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, you're not ready. You're not playing. You're not coming off the bench. And he must know the whole world is waiting to see him. The whole world wants to see him come on, wear the shirt, see what he does. Everyone who's travelled to Burnley wants to see it. Everyone watching on the telly wants to see it. He will want to make his debut. All of them. And he's just like, nah, you're not ready, lad. Maybe Wednesday. See you later. And it's the same with him. He looks at it. He's got booked. It's a daft booking. Shouldn't be diving. There's cameras everywhere. There's VAR. You know, you're not going to get away with it. It's gone now. Don't do it again. But then, like you say, I think it was more... I know what you mean. I don't think it felt like it was in the post, but I think equally what we've seen of Kirkes since he's been at Liverpool, he's definitely got rash tackle in him. He's definitely got... I'm going to go and try and win that when it's not there to be won. And so I think probably looking at that, he's gone, well, it's just not worth the risk. And I actually thought Robbo was really good when he come on, to the point where the thought went through my brain, if I to be honest, as I was watching him, he might keep hold of that place. Because, you know, it was at the keeper, but he was the first one to have a shot for Liverpool. But, you know, there was something about the way he played. It was almost like, right, this is my little chance here. Do you know what I mean?
I think so.
And yeah, Kirkes is still young. I heard Robbo talk after the game, and I think he said that, didn't he? He said, like, you know, he is still young. He's still got a lot to learn. He compared, you know, Kirkes coming to Liverpool to when he came to Liverpool from Hull. And he was like, you know, you've got a lot more eyes on you, a lot more scrutiny on you. And it's right. You know, anything and everything is picked up. Like I was saying just before about, you know, Liverpool have won 4 out of 4. And yet there are still people writing articles and talking on radio and TV about there being a problem.
Yeah,
and it's like, that is just typical of Liverpool, isn't it? So, you know, there will be people that will look at every sign and every position and anything at all they can pick up on. And with him, it's like, well, bit rash and this and that, blah, blah, blah. So look, maybe, and it'll be one for slots, and you've already said that I don't think he'll care. If he thinks the best move right now is play Robbo for a bit, he'll absolutely do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There won't be any like, oh, well, I think this or I think that. He's so single-minded, is he? And I love it the way as well. It's not like, I'll sub him and we'll speak about this another time. It's, I'll sub him, and as soon as you come off, I'm in your fucking ear. It's like, oh, okay, shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if what he was saying to him was, we don't dive here. Because I think that's something that we've picked up on a few times in press conferences where he's been like, oh, Liverpool are too nice. But the way he said it is almost as if to say, like, I know that everyone else does it, but I'd still rather we weren't doing it. But... you know,
well, I don't know, because you've seen him at other times. Like, I think there's a distinction, isn't it? Because I think you've seen him actively encouraging where there's been a tackle, and someone's like, you know, rigidly stayed on the feet. He's sort of gone, you could have gone there,
yeah.
You know, because if we're not going to get the decision, you know, so I think.
But that doesn't, for me, that doesn't count as diving. So
yeah, I don't know what you mean. Like
like
it's exaggeration.
Yeah.
I mean, he's claimed he felt something in his back, hasn't he? But I mean, seeing it live and seeing it back about 4 or 5 times, I don't know what he's on about. There's nothing there.
Like, if you felt someone in his back, I'm thinking there's someone who's got a little Kirkes voodoo doll out there somewhere with sticking pins in the back of it. Because, yeah. But I think, again, Slot said in the press conference after, he said, like, we're not very good at diving. And then he kind of laughed about it. So I think this is kind of what it is. It's like, if there is an opportunity to exaggerate or accentuate contact so a ref can see that what is a foul is definitely a foul, that's one thing. But blatantly trying to throw yourself on the floor when you've had a massive touch and everyone can see it's a dive, that's not what we want. That's not what we were about. So I think that's the difference.
Nick is back. Nick, Australian Nick.
Hey, g'day.
He's back with his 100 Aussie dollars donation again.
Fantastic.
Tell you what, lad, you can come every week. Yeah. He says, hello guys, worth getting up early to watch your show. Love the banter and the content. Keep it up. Cheers, mate.
We will. Largely thanks to you.
That's I know, yeah. You're keeping the lights on here. You're making sure we can pay the lads for the studio. No, thanks very much, mate. That's very generous. Cheers for that. Other people in the comments there just saying, like, you know, Robbo was really good when he came on, and Robbo must be thinking, you know, he's got a chance of being first choice again. I think so, like we're saying. I think you could see that in his thing. What I was pulling a bit of a face about before, which I could see you got onto, was Greg Walsh in the comments says, yeah, yet again I left me bills on the line and it rained. I've realised there is a direct correlation between my lapse in weather knowledge and a last-minute winner up the rain-soaked Nubo Bills Reds. Well, I mean, look, if we get a last-minute winner every time you leave your bills on the line, keep going with it, lad. I'm all right with these things. I used to always laugh about superstition and and all that kind of stuff. But who knows? If it works, it works.
Have you seen the video of
fuming if you don't put your bills on the line for Wednesday and Saturday?
I mean, as soon as Liverpool don't win, we'll be asking that question. Yeah. So you better have a good answer.
We'll be like, Greg, what was the crack with the bills?
But speaking of superstitions, did you see the video of the old fellow who turned his back on the penalty?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing I love about that as well is that he just, it wasn't like he looked nervous. It was almost like, I'm not nervous because I'm not looking. If he'd have been looking, it'd have probably been a wreck.
Tell you what, crack and pen, wasn't it? I mean, amazing. We seem to trigger some people by just having a conversation about a penalty the other week. But we were saying then, weren't we? Obviously missed 2 in a row, which is very non-Salah-like, bit like his performance in general yesterday. But yeah, the penalty, pressure everywhere you look, if you like, but seemingly not in his head. I absolutely smashed it. Great pen. No worries.
I love the fact that it was almost as if he'd been watching our show. It was just like, oh yeah, you're thinking of getting someone else into the penalties, are you? Have this one.
Yeah,
and it's not just about the fact that the technique, and I know people talk about, oh, you just smashed it. It was like, well, smashing it is actually a legitimate way of taking. Well, that was
the Twitter argument, wasn't it? Like, someone who likes to argue with people, pot kettle and decided to just take real exception to just a bit of a debate about penalties.
Yeah, anyway.
Whatevs. But I mean, I seen James Pearce's piece earlier, and he's saying in that, that's why you leave Salah on the pitch. One of my mates was actually saying in the group chat, how shit does he have to be subbed off? Because he did have his thinker.
Yeah, he did.
In that one where he's running down a wing, and then he I think it was meant for Verts, but it ended up in the stand somewhere. Wow.
Yeah. and you just think, oh. And it's funny, actually, because these questions have started coming up more and more often. And it's almost like we're now in that period of the Mo Salah where it's like, look, he's still a great footballer. No one's denying that. But he is going to start getting old. We are going to start seeing the parts where he's not as good as he has been anymore. He's going to start looking human, mortal, however you want to look at it. And again, Joycey asked a question in the press conference about whether he thought he'd take him off. And again, Slot said, I thought about all the different permutations. He was like, I didn't want to leave her with a point knowing that I could have done something else in terms of throwing all the attackers on. But the line that he said, which I thought was interesting, was taking off Mo when you need a goal will happen at some point this season or next season, but not very often. So it's like, it's almost like he's just teasing the idea to not only us, but to Mo Salah himself. So it's like, look, lads, this is not going to last forever.
I get the age comments, and I get the idea, no one can be father time and all that kind of gear. But equally, I just think we've had this conversation before about, this is it. This is where he falls off a cliff. This is where he won't be as good as he once was. I just think I'll hang fire on that.
Wait and see.
Because you know what I mean? I feel like we've had this so many times with Salah, and then he uses that as extra motivation, and he'll come back with a 10-pack instead of a 6-pack, and he'll have some new.
Where does he find those extra muscles?
Extra muscles, I know. So what I'm saying is we'll hang fire with the writing him off thing, because he's still assisted, he's still scored, he's still provided vital contributions. When just like the team, allegedly he's not really playing well, or they're not playing very well. So there's more to come from the Reds, there's more to come from Mo Salah, and that's a good thing because we're top of the league.
Exactly. Another stat to throw in here, 6 of the last 9 90th minute winning goals have either been scored or assisted by Mo Salah. So he's normally involved when we're winning games late. Again, something that is going to be in the manager's mind when he's thinking about, do I take this fella off? It's like, well, he's more likely to make the decisive moment. Although that was the 17th injury time winner Liverpool scored in the Premier League since Mo Salah joined the club, and it's the first one he scored, which is mad when you think about it. You think about how many different players have scored last minute winners in that time. Like Origi's done it a couple of times. Firmino, Mane, Benteke. No, Benteke's before him, wasn't it? Elliot's got one. Nunes has got loads. Like Mo Salah, and again, like we were saying, Mo Salah's been on the pitch for most of them, and this is the first one he's actually scored.
That's about that. What I loved, by the way, about the sort of, I know there's loads of stats kicking around about, no teams scored 4 consecutive winners as late as this in the Premier League, and Liverpool have got the most, late winners in the Premier League. But and all of these stats are floating around, and they're all great, and you lap them all up, and they go great with your cornflakes in the morning when you're reflecting on the day before. The thing that still, because it's him, and because it's them, and because of the childhood, and because of Ferguson and all of that, the quote I really liked was Gary Neville. So Gary Neville, I don't know if you've seen it, said, I thought I've got absolutely no doubts that by the time I get in this lift to come up to the gantry, Liverpool will have scored. And as soon as I open the lift doors, what do I hear? One of the City fans says Liverpool have just scored. And I knew that was going to happen because they've just got that thing at the moment, that thing that maybe at times we, United, used to have. City have had it. Teams that win leagues have it.
Yeah.
Like, that is music
and he would know.
to these ears as a Liverpool fan. So, and exactly he would know. And it's just that thing of, there's loads of criticism kicking about. There's like this weird narrative that it's a piece of piss to go to Burnley away and win with a load of new faces in your team. It's not. That proved it's not. But you know what? We won.
Yeah.
And we carry on. And we're 4 out of 4. And we're top. And we're 3 points clear. And what's anyone else doing, by the way? Yeah. Like, this is the thing about sort of like, they haven't played that well yet. And I hear it everywhere. Anything a switch on, anything a turn on, any social media, whatever. Liverpool aren't playing well. Liverpool aren't playing well. Liverpool this, Liverpool that. Bad Liverpool, shit Liverpool, whatever. And it's like, well, who's playing well? Because when I'm looking at the table, everyone else is behind us. And we beat Arsenal.
Another thing as well.
Are they good?
So if you look at the league table, the teams in second and third have won all of their games except when they played Liverpool, which is Bournemouth and Arsenal. They beat everybody else, but they couldn't beat Liverpool. So what does that tell you? But yeah, last point on the Burnley game. We mentioned that you were there. You were there with Cara. How did he enjoy the last minute let off? I mean, I dare say it's happened a few times for him now as well, hasn't it?
Well, he's been to plenty of games at Anfield, but that was only his second away match. And, his first away match was when Darwin Núñez scored the 2 at Newcastle away. So he's got a decent record going on here. So, if people want to get Cara a ticket for Liverpool away games, I'm happy to take him as our lucky mascot. A bit like, him and his bills on the line.
It all helps.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so of course, yeah, he was absolutely delighted. And it's just always nice. I mean, don't want to get too cuddly and snuggly here, but it's always nice to be able to hug your son in a moment like that. Or go, fucking get it! More appropriately, more accurately than saying I give him a big hug. But yeah, brilliant. And like I say, good to see how much it wound up some of their fans as well. So fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Making memories, eh?
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
Beautiful.
All right, so let's talk about what else is happening this week. The Champions League is back. And I, for one, am very excited about it. I must admit, as much as I hate the draw and all of the bullshit that goes with it, I love match day 1. It just feels the same as the beginning of the Premier League season. It's like that point where literally anything can happen. You could win all your games and this could be the start of a long road to glory, or it could all end up tits up. But the first game, always like the first game at home. Personally, always like a big game as the first game as well. And we've got that Atletico Madrid, who, let's face it, I've had some Barneys with Liverpool down the years in the recent times, so it'd be quite nice to get this one off to a winning start.
Yeah, they feel very pantomime, don't they, because of the manager, I think they feel like natural bad guys to the white and pureness of Liverpool Football Club. So the bad guys are coming to town, and hopefully the good guys prevail. Because I do love, I think about this more and more about, how we all are about football, and I love the pantomime, the event, you know, like you're saying, you know, even with the Champions League, it's like, it's good that it's midweek, it's under the lights, even the tune, you know, once upon a time, like, I used to fucking hate that and think it was like corporate nonsense, but now it's like, nah.
I've played it in DJ sets, mate. Yeah, I love it.
But it's so ingrained in us now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So now it's like, to hear that at Anfield, you know, to have that sort of pomp and ceremony of a Champions League night, yeah, bring it on, boss. And like, you know, even the sort of, you know, the Spaniards coming over and them being around town and, you know, the European clubs, when they come to Liverpool, you know, their sets of fans obviously do it differently to the ones you see week in, week out. So you don't hear like all the shite songs about poverty and fucking whatever other unoriginal wank that, you know, the 3,000 or so that come to Anfield want to sing. With them, you know, you get a bit more colour and a bit something a little bit different, and all of that makes it special as well. So yeah, looking forward to it, and like, you know, there's lots of things, lots of question marks, lots of things, you know, like right now I think, you know, you're like, what's going to be the team, who's going to play, who's at right back, who's in midfield. You know, he's pretty much saying that Isak will be on, but does he mean first half, second half?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, all of these things remain to be seen. And I don't know, you know, I'll hold my hands up and I'm quite happy to do so. You know, the way I consume football, we all consume it differently. I don't spend hours and hours or even any hours watching La Liga or Bundesliga or Serie A or anything like that. So all I've done is had a bit of a look this afternoon to go, well, are they any good? And it looks like they've had a couple of draws and a defeat. So yeah, they're not ripping it up.
No. I mean, I must admit, La Liga is now the one that I've found hardest to watch. So I watched loads of Bundesliga, I watched loads of Serie A. La Liga, it's another thing to pay for compared to some of the others. So I watch as much of it, but I have noticed, because I do follow a lot of other European journalists, that Atletico haven't been as good as they normally are. It's been a disappointing start to the season. Like this weekend just gone was their first win. So it will be interesting to see if they get any kind of form off the back of that, or they're still a little bit sticky, but feels like a good time to play them. And yeah, because of the manager, it's always like, well, you never really want to completely write them off because they're just so good at just making it hard to play against. And
historic beef
between
the managers.
God, I was going to come on to that. So I don't know if any of you have seen, but there was I think it was a friendly, actually. That's the maddest thing. I don't even think it was a competitive game between Feyenoord and Atletico. And at the end of the game, Simeone did not like something that Slot said and full on pushes him. And Slot's face is just an absolute picture. Because first of all, he's just like, you are. And then it's just like, he just starts laughing. It's just like, oh, come on, mate. And Simeone's one of those people that if he's angry at you, the worst thing that you could do is laugh at him.
Yeah.
Because he just gets, like, you can just see the steam coming out on the side of his
I was just thinking about like what he could do. What, you know, like, I know he won't do any of these things, but you know what could he do that would be absolutely brilliant? Like what he'd go down in history if he did it. And I was thinking, like, you know, all those, so there's loads of things. Anyone who hangs around with me will know this. Like, you know, I do all the old classics, like, you know, like what's that on your top, and then and then fucking flick your nose, or do the handshake, and then, you know, do the on your nose, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Like, imagine Slot did that too. or the one where you go to shake the hands and then you scratch the side of your head. I mean, he's not going to do that.
He's not going to do any of those things.
But it'd be massive.
It would be amazing if he did. Oh yeah. But
because we've not really had that, have we? Like just thinking there, you know, we had some great, you know, Klopp moments, didn't we, where he had beef with the other manager, like, do you know what I mean? And like Slot, obviously we've had it, like, you know, he lost his shit at Goodison and all that kind of stuff, and we've seen him, like, you know, give battles to some of the officials and stuff like that, which we knew he would eventually. He's not had beef with any manager since he's been in charge.
They've all been very kind of cordial. And even some of the ones where you...
Come on, Slot! This is the one.
I mean,
Call Simeone a tit.
honestly, if there's I genuinely think Simeone, like we're saying, he's a villain. I think he is the best villain in football.
I like him. There's a part of me that likes him.
Yeah.
Even the way he dresses and everything. He fucking knows, doesn't he? He knows.
Yeah, the skinny black tie, the black shirt.
He knows.
Yeah.
He's at home, like looking in the mirror going, he fucking knows. He watches like Batman and he's like, he's looking at the Joker or whatever, or the Riddler or whoever else and going, yeah, I'll have a bit of that. That's boss. That.
So we've got the press conferences tomorrow, and I'm going to be there, and someone's going to ask him about the thing with Slot, and I just can't wait to see what he comes up with, what he says about it. Like, obviously, we don't know if he's going to speak in English or if he's going to do it through a translator, but like, someone's definitely going to ask him about it. And yeah, you kind of get the impression that he's not the kind of person who lets grudges go easily. Like,
no, I don't think so.
It's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, me and Slot, we're buddies, but I dare say if someone asks Slot about it, he'll probably have a bit of a joke about it. He'll play it down because that's what he's like. But
should just say to Slot, like, do you want to come across as a good guy? Because Simeone comes across as a bad guy. If we take it down to that base level, if we take it down to Marvel Comics, what side are you on?
So you mentioned there again about this game, the whole Isak factor, and it sounded like Slot almost said that, like, rather than giving him a little bit here, a little bit there, a game, he's going to give him maybe a slightly bigger chunk and then not play him. And to be honest, considering the history of the game, I would not be surprised if Slot's like, I'm not putting you anywhere near Everton. we'll just keep you for a while. Yeah, if there's one thing that they would love to do would be to kind of, do some... I mean, when you consider what happens between Tarkowski and McAllister in the last derby, I think you look at that and say, yeah, we want none of that. Thank you very much. So he will play. I mean, how much would you like to see him, do you think? Would you be happy with like a 10-15 minute run out, or are you hoping that he gets a little bit more?
I think, I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because, you can't possibly know how it all unfolds, but it does seem like that we don't do so much as hard. We seem to sort of take it easy. Or not take it easy. We have a look, is the phrase is probably looking. We have a look, don't we, in the first half? Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no race in the first half. It's like, what are they doing? Let's have a look at them. Let's see where they're sitting, what the shape is, what the plan is. Are they pressing his eye? Are they sitting in? What are they doing? And then we'll have a little think second half. And so, which of those two bits would you like him to be involved in? It's probably the second half, isn't it? Because... you even look at yesterday, just to jump back for a minute, I thought it was dead funny in a weird way at like how the game started. Because if you remember, the game starts, it goes to Virgil, and he's fucking rolling his studs over the fucking ball. And they're all just sitting looking at him. and like it was as though he was going, one of them days, is it? Yeah. You're not even going to press me now. Do you know what I mean? And he was like... fucking hell, like, do you know what I mean? So what are Atletico doing? Are they coming out flying out the traps? Are they thinking they can win it? Are they coming for a point? Are they playing it safe? Are they being negative? Are they going to boot people off the park? Are they going to be dirty bastards like the manager was?
Yes. That will be my guess. Absolutely, that will be my guess.
And so, but what you just said about, you wouldn't want someone doing a Funes Mori on fucking Isak when we've only just got him. I think you'd have a bit of a look at that as well, don't you? Like, where are they at? What's the game like? So I think I've talked myself into it being second half for Isak.
Yeah, no, I like the sound of that as well. I mean, to be honest, you look at the modern Atletico, they don't have as many groks who will kick you up in the air as they've had in previous years, but they do actually have Simeone's son playing, which he might be, like father, like son on the pitch. So he might just decide to take
that. Yeah, I was like, hi. Yeah, I was like, I'm intrigued. Do you know what I mean? We've got another one in the comments, by the way. So, the Bills on the line that was mentioned earlier. So we've got another one. I like this. Let's get this going as a thing. So Matthew Wilcox has written in. We've received a letter, if you like. He's written in the live chat. He says, got in the bath. I wondered where this was going when I started reading it. He says, got in the bath about the 90th minute, writing it off, but still hopeful. Last time I did that was Forest away when Darwin scored a 99th minute winner. And it's worked again. So never mind your soggy Bills. So Matthew's got to get in the bath if we need to win. And the other lad has got to stick his Bills on the line.
Absolutely. And
any other mad shit that you think leads to Liverpool getting good results, let us know. And we'll read them out this week or next.
Yeah. Obviously next week is going to be even more important when you look at what's happening on Saturday. But before we get to that, I want to ask you about the wider context of the Champions League, because obviously last season it was a bit weird. Liverpool finished top in the league phase and ended up with PSG. That's all anticlimax. So on the one hand, you think, well, coming top doesn't matter that much. But if you look at the teams who finished second, third and fourth, they all got to the semi-finals, Inter, Barcelona and Arsenal. So being around the top still probably feels like a good place to be.
We were a bit unlucky, weren't we? I think. I think we all did the thing. I certainly did. This format and all that kind of stuff. But if you think about why we got PSG, it's because they were a bit shit in the group stage, weren't they? Yeah. So they were much lower than anyone probably would have forecast they would be. And in ordinary circumstances, perhaps, you would have got a more favourable draw. It just so happened that, of course, if you like, they fell to us. But do you know that we're favourites to win the Champions League?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's a bit wild, isn't it? I mean, sound. But yeah, us and Barcelona, very similar odds at the moment. Then PSG, then Arsenal. As if.
I mean,
I'm not being funny, but it's not happening, lads. It's not happening.
I mean, part of that is
feel free to clip me up when they've won it and say, Sam, but look, I'll take my chances. They are not winning the Champions
Part of that is because they got to the semis last year, though, isn't it? And they beat Real Madrid. But you don't...
Arteta's the manager.
Yeah, I know.
And they've got, look, I know you don't like, and I know plenty of people don't like Jason Cundy. I like him, though, because he knows what he's about. He's like Simeone, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He knows that his job is go on the radio and wind people up. And I think he's very good at it.
Oh, yeah.
And
elite.
He was winding up Arsenal fans the other week. And what's his name? The striker that they bought. Who's
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres. He said, I really like. He said, I've watched him, and he said, I'm not having him. He said, it's like having a table up front, and he said, and it's a table with about 10 legs. It's like, it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't do anything, doesn't move very fast. Flat track bully, all the rest of it. And I liked it because, as you can imagine, that really wound up Arsenal
Obviously,
fans.
Yes.
Job done for Jason Cundy for another day.
Yeah, no, that's...
the Wilcox fella, the Bath fella.
Oh, okay.
We wondered where it could all go. Has thrown in 10 of your English pounds.
Oh, nice.
And he says, keep up the great work. The show podcast is top draw. Love it and thanks, lads. Cheers, mate. Keep on bathing when we need a goal.
Does it matter how when the last time he had a bath was? Does it matter how dirty it was? I'm very, very invested in all of this suddenly. But I probably shouldn't be.
Do you think we'll win the Champions League?
I think we can win the Champions League. I think...
Do you think we'll win the Champions League and the league?
I think we can. This is the thing. I don't think it needs to be an either or. I mean, think about the last time we won the Champions League. We lost the league by a point. Like they very easily could have won them both in the same season. And just because I don't think any English team... obviously City when they did the treble. But it doesn't happen very often for English teams. So you think, instantly in your mind, you think, it'll be one or the other, and if you're doing well in one. But if we do really well, if we start really well in the league, then you can kind of concentrate a little bit on the Champions League. And then if you start doing well in the Champions League, you can do both.
Well, the Spending felt like they fancied doing both to me. The Spending felt like it was like, well, we won the league, we fancy winning the league again, but we also fancy going a bit deeper into the Champions League. Also, as well, I have to say that Budapest is a fantastic city. And never have I really fancied the idea of, if I don't get a ticket, I might just go anyway, because I just can't be bothered with that. Like, if I'm there, I want to be in there and watch my team. But I could be tempted.
That one.
If I don't get a ticket, if we get to the final and I don't get a ticket, I might still go to Budapest because it's boss.
Yeah.
Have you been?
I haven't, no.
Oh, it's lovely, you know. It's a great city. So that is where the final is. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but, you know, I'm giddy, I'm happy, I'm supporting the Reds, I'm doing what football fans are meant to do.
Exactly.
This is what I meant. You know, like Neville Southall, I like Neville Southall.
Yeah, he's
I've
great.
always liked Neville Southall. I liked him when he played for them because I thought he was a fantastic goalie. He is my favourite Everton player. And, like, there's a thing Neville Southall says, I've heard him say it a few times, and I'm like, he's fucking spot on. At the start of the season, you should say that your team should win things.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so he always says that about Everton, like they can win this or they can win that. Because the whole point is that you have hope at the start. And then your team fucking let you down and you go, oh, fuck off. But, you know, ours doesn't. Like, we're lucky, aren't we?
Yeah.
We support a fantastic club who's spent a load of dough. We've got a great squad, great manager, great ground and all the rest of it. But, you know, like, if you are a balloon, you've got to have some hope. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing?
And now more than ever. I mean, this feels like a very perfect segue. So I don't know if you did it on purpose.
I didn't, but here we are. Yeah, it worked, didn't it? So we can talk about the derby.
Yeah. Because there is the Merseyside derby, the first one of the season.
Woo.
And it's come a little bit early when you consider it's only the fifth game. But also painfully early in as much as it's a Saturday 12:30. Now, obviously,
I hate that.
This is because of BT, or sorry, say TNT Sports, who've picked it and their game slot is Saturday 12:30.
It's not Dynamite, that TNT.
I see what we did there. But yeah, it just feels like a massive waste, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just shit. And look, you know, I don't know. I haven't dug into this at all. Maybe I should have done. So here I am now doing admin in my head and talking at the same time. But is it defo just TNT? Yeah, it's not a police influence decision or anything like that.
As far as I'm aware, no. I mean,
because I kind of think we're all right, lads. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could have played it later in the day and it would have been absolutely sound. And as it is, you know, you've left me with this big admin dilemma now. What's my day look like? Because what I want to do is go to Anfield, watch Liverpool beat Everton, and then go and see the Reallys in the night. And I don't want to drink between those two times because I can't do it anymore because I'm nearly 50 years old. But no, it is... There are some people who just defend that, I feel, whatever the kick-off time is. Like, they'll go, oh, you moaning bastard, blah, 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 blah. The early ones are shit.
they are.
The early ones are... the atmosphere is never as good if it's 12, if it's something involving 12. I'm just not having it. I don't think they work. And I get that there's loads of people abroad and they're watching and that's what the telly company's decision is around. But surely, as part of that, factor in, you want the ground to be bouncing.
Yes.
You're selling that bit as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
And the ground is more likely to be bouncing later in the day than we're all rubbing our eyes going, fucking hell, this doesn't quite feel right.
There's a handful of times I can remember a great atmosphere from a 12:30, and every single time is because of what's happened on the pitch.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But like you say, they're having to work harder to generate it. So it's not like it's impossible, but it's so much harder. So for example, last season, there was the one that was meant to be a 12:30 on a Saturday, but then it got postponed because of all the wind at Goodison. And then when was it? It was on a Wednesday night.
And it was a belter.
It was a belter. Yeah. And the atmosphere was fantastic. Like, that would have been the last Goodison derby.
Was that the one they won 2-2?
Yeah, that was the one they won 2-2, yeah. But just think about how, if that game had been a 12:30 on a Saturday.
Was that when they were awarded the We've Built 3 Grounds trophy? Have you seen that t-shirt?
Yes, I have seen that.
Oh my God, lads, really? I mean, like honestly, there's this t-shirt, right, for those of you that haven't seen it, and it says, "We built this city," and it's got Anfield, Goodison and Bramley Moor on it. Right, lads, the picture you've put on the t-shirt is long after Everton were anywhere near that ground. And when you were there, there's a nice pencil drawing of what it looked like then. And it looked like a non-league ground, lads. So, what did you build? What did you build?
I've seen someone else say that when Everton sold the ground, they didn't sell the lease, so apparently Everton still own it.
Oh, that's bollocks.
Well, they never owned it in the first place because they leased the ground off the council. So,
but like, honestly, what are you doing? Like, you're just making it easy for us to take the piss out of you. So, like, everyone's like, I'm sure there'll be a blue who'll say, "Well, we've got to you." You know, because that'll be your spin. But what's actually happening is that T-shirt image is going into Red's WhatsApp groups and they're going, fucking hell, really? Like, in our group when it appeared, it was like, so you've made a T-shirt about building grounds. Last time I checked, that isn't the point of a football club. And I'd much rather, like, support a club that's won 6 European Cups and 20 league titles than one that's built some grounds. And it's just a mad thing to put on a T-shirt. Like, do you remember they had the firsts all around the ground and all that? And I'm pretty sure one of them was basically like, we had Central Eaton first. So I'm just waiting for the T-shirt of a boiler wearing an Everton scarf and it says, like, you know, we warmed this city. Or so, you know, like, because what are we celebrating here, lads? Anyway.
Well, I mean,
I digress.
What they haven't been able to celebrate a lot of is winning football matches. So this is where you have to be a bit more creative. But the last point before we move
Someone's throwing a tenner in and says, towards the Leckie bill. Thanks very much. M. Hamrogue is the username. I've had a go, mate. Hopefully that's something approaching what it should be. But thanks for the tank. But anyway,
much appreciated. You mentioned the fact, and we've been talking about the Saturday 12:30. You mentioned the fact that it's a ball ache for you because you've got something happening on Saturday night. So I'm DJing until 4 a.m. on Friday night. Yeah. Right 4 a.m. And then obviously because I'm doing press gear, so I generally try to be at the ground 2 hours beforehand. So that's 10:30. So finish at 4 a.m., get a cab, normally about 20 past 4, get home, get to sleep about 4:45, maybe 5. Then to get to the ground at 10:30, probably going to have to get up at about 9:15. So I'm probably going to be running on about 4 hours sleep.
I'd be necking towards the end of your set. I'd be necking magnesium and melatonin, getting ready. Get someone to turn your Leckie blanket on for you and just be like, as soon as you get in, boo.
See, now this might be the one time where that actually might be not a bad idea. I'm certainly going to be mainlining coffee when I get to the ground. Because,
you know, so when I go to match, right, if it's like a night match and it's been a belter and Liverpool have won and all that, and I'm like flying naturally, may I add.
Yes.
When I get home, I'm like, there's no way I can't go. I'm not ready to go to bed. I'm not, like, mentally, I'm not in a place where I'm like, okay, I'll just get my head down now. So are you like flying after DJing, basically, is what I was going to say? Yeah.
Yes,
because you've got all these people like giving it beans and you're influencing them giving it beans and all that.
Yeah, and I mean, if nothing else, sometimes is because it's been loud, because I mean, I play for 6 hours at a time. So sometimes you get home and you just get that your ears are not quite ringing, but it's sort of kind of like throbbing.
Someone has suggested you stay up and keep bevying. Yeah,
I know. So no.
He's got to go in the press room, and
for starters, I've got to go in the press room. Second of all, I've tried that before, and it did not work.
There's always a crash.
I was in a fiery ball by about 2:30.
Yeah,
it was like I remember there was one game we played Chelsea, and it was in the time when around the end of the Rodgers era, and we lost 3-1, I think, and I remember nothing. When I say nothing, I remember that Liverpool scored a goal. I don't remember how it happened. I don't remember watching Chelsea score any of their goals. I just know that it was 3-1 because I remember asking someone what the score was, and they said 3-1, and that's the only part I actually remember.
Just a shout out, by the way. You know, we've been all nice and positive, and we had a nice time. We've got smiles on our faces. We're laughing. You know, the live chat's been nice. We've had a nice time. It's been a great free show. We've had a laugh. And then here comes where's he gone? Here comes Derek with his negativity. Gakpo is hot garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that for, lad? Come on. We're top of the league, lad. And he was our second top goal scorer last season. Get off his fucking back.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself, lad. Do you know what I mean? Have a little look at that league table. Have a little look at, the list of things we've won, and you'll see that we are currently league champions.
Yeah. And like you say, Cody Gakpo is pretty well heavily involved in all of that. And I think that, again, the game against Everton, he's probably going to be heavily involved again.
What's your favourite piss take out of Everton's new stadium? Because someone's put in the comments the Jimmy Hill, David Dickinson cheapest chip stadium. I have to say that my favourite is the Rill Dickinson. I quite enjoy that one. Maybe you're not going to get involved because of your girlfriend's employer and that.
Yeah, something like that. Well, no, I'm generally trying to rise above it because, for starters, like I'm still having to go in there on a regular basis, so I don't want them to be, clipping.
Have you had the blue sauce?
No, I found out that was just for that one test event they did.
Oh, so it's not kicking round now, the blue sauce? No. Oh, well in, lads.
No.
They got red sauce now, have they?
Yeah, they have.
Fucking hell. The dough's still flowing in here. Clive has thrown in £5 and he says, my stupid superstition is a bottle of Erdinger and wear the LFC shirt even at work and we haven't lost yet. It can't go on all season though, can it?
It can.
We scored in every league game for a year as well. We haven't thrown that stat in, have we?
That's a good point.
So yeah, it can keep going, Clive. Keep on doing it. Keep having your... Don't get sacked for having a bottle of Erdinger at work though, lad. You know what I mean? Maybe put it in a different container or maybe we'll get one of them like pouch things, the little straw.
the hat, but just make sure you change the cans.
Gareth Little, sorry. Great first name. Says he's thrown in £9.99.
Oh, nice.
And he says, shout out from Aintree. Keep up the great show. Funny, interesting and informed. Like having a post-match pint with your bezies. Get some tea bags or Monster Munch with the £10.
Nice. Oh, well, it's a good thing you mentioned Chris, because in the Patreon show in a little bit, we're going to be getting into another bag.
Get in.
Yes. We still got plenty. We got plenty. We got enough to last us another month at least. But I mean, if you want to keep sending them, by all means, be our guest.
I've got a recommendation as well.
Oh.
So I hadn't seen them before. I was thinking of bringing them in, but I pretty much ate them all, soz. But I tried some new crisps. Seabrook maple bacon flavour waffle bites.
Ooh.
Nice.
A lot of my favourite words in together. Maple, bacon, waffles.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. They get the Robbo recommendation.
Into that.
Yeah.
All right, so rounding up this stuff about Everton then. So we have to acknowledge the fact that they do look like a better team than they were last season. Yeah. And it's not just Jack Grealish. They've bought Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, looks like a good player.
Yeah.
Indye looks like he's
a very good player.
He is very good.
Steele, great signing, not to be fair.
But they have obviously only won once at Anfield in this century, and that was when there was no fans. So the
Moyes, I think I've said this before, and this isn't me going mad. I think he's more likeable now.
Yeah, he is. 100% he is.
He's like a nicer fella, more, you know what I mean? Like he's seems more. I mean, jovial might be pushing it, but do you know what I mean?
No, I would say,
jovial,
yeah, definitely. Like he's willing to crack a joke or two when the time is right, but he's also not quite as on the defensive about everything. I think he's a little bit more relaxed. He doesn't feel like he's having to fight. So what we were saying about Michael Owen last week, where he feels like no one respects him and he's always having to fight his case. I don't think Moyes is feeling like that anymore. I think he's just kind of
relaxed. Doesn't need to, does he?
No. I think the whole West Ham going back there, winning the European trophy, he's just kind of been like, no, I'm comfortable with that. So
the question then is, it's almost like a new Moyes, a Moyes who's enjoying himself, a Moyes who's like, didn't think this maybe was going to come round, and it has done. We're having a great time. He's persuaded Grealish to come there. He looks like he's enjoying himself. It's all quite happy and jolly and very un-Everton like. Will he revert to the Moyes that caxes undercrackers anytime they go away to a big team?
Well, that is the $64,000 question, isn't it? Because I think we do need to read out the record again. I know we did it for the last derby, but
he hates this, doesn't he, as well? Didn't he flip about it?
Yeah, so's Dave. But yeah, the record, according to Stats Muse, 110, drawn 27, lost 78 on the road in the Premier League against the Big Six in his managerial career. Now, that includes a run of 72 in a row without a victory, which is, that's tough. So yeah, as you say, in his DNA is very much these games do not suit him. But you could argue that he's got a team now which maybe suits him more than it's ever had, which brings in an interesting question. Part of the reason why I think some Liverpool fans get nervous in games against Everton is because Everton find a way to just be annoying. They're not as good a football team as Liverpool, but they're able to punch above their weight, or Liverpool are able to drag Liverpool down to their level. If they're now going there believing that they're a good footballing side, are they going to be more attacking? And is that actually going to suit Liverpool more?
So are you asking me, is a David Moyes side going to come to it?
that is what I'm asking you. Even as I'm saying it sounds ridiculous, but yes.
I don't think so. I just think, like, you know, for all that I've just said, he's a different person. I think old David Moyes will come to the fore and he'll look at it and think, they've won the league, they're fantastic at home, they scored against every side they've played in the Premier League for the last year. We can't go there and have a real pop at them. We've got to go there and dog it. We've got to go there and fight. We've got to go there and be compact and frustrate them. And where every manager pretty much seems to arrive at, even Arteta.
Yeah,
I think Moyes arrives at the same conclusion, and that's what they come and try and do. And then it'll be like, you know, can they release Ndiaye on the break type of thing? All that said, no, I'm sticking with that. I was going to say, all that said, you know, in the 2-2 draw that they won, you know, they did have a go that day, didn't they?
Yeah.
And like there was some like cleverish stuff. There was some different stuff, wasn't it? You know, like the way they went at Gravenberch and nullified him that day, and things like that. But equally, and again, might bite me on the arse, not arse, but I think Beto's absolutely shit. And so if Beto's on the pitch, fantastic. And even he did all right that day, didn't he?
Yeah, he scored a goal.
Yeah, and he did all right. But I kind of think, you know, natural order might suggest that he won't do all right if you play him at Anfield. I
hope you're right. I hope this is not a massive jinx coming back.
Well,
but final thing on this then.
As long as people get a bath and put the bills on the line, we'll be all right.
We'll sound. Final thing on this. We've already kind of highlighted that we both think that Robbo will play and should play at left back. Any other changes you're making? Conor Bradley coming in, perhaps?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I thought he did well when he came on. Looked the Conor of old, you know, getting stuck in, but also, you know, doing some good stuff the other way. But he's a proper right back, isn't he? Like you know, when he's grappling with the fella in the corner and all that, I'm just like, get in. You know, like proper, I love a bit of that. And look, Szoboszlai has been fantastic there, don't get me wrong, and I wasn't that surprised to sort of see him start the game there yesterday, because I thought he was so good there the other week that why not? But you know, I think you might see him in midfield now. Because we don't know what's happening with
Callister.
Yeah. And then Jones was injured yesterday as well, and blah 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 blah. So you know, that's why I'm saying maybe midfield for him. We've done the whole show and not said how good Gravenberch was, man.
I know. It's weird.
Mad, isn't it?
It's almost like
it's almost like we're taking him for granted.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's got into that bracket of the players who we just think, oh, will he sound? Because he's
a quiet man of Liverpool who just is absolutely brilliant virtually every game. What a guy.
Yeah, when you go away to a promoted team, you're not expecting the defensive midfielder to be the best player, but sometimes it just is. All right, I'm pretty sure we've run up to an hour. I've not actually been paying attention to the time. Sorry, everybody. But
not everyone.
Last question, and it kind of ties back into the beginning of the show. Would you rather, in the derby would you rather a 5-0 victory or a winning goal in the 96th minute?
The latter.
I thought you'd say that.
Just because I'm a bastard. Just because, once again, it would be cruelty to my blue brethren. But you know, like I just said before about doing that at Burnley, it's a brilliant way to win. And I think where there's still hope for the other side and the other set of fans right until the end, and then you kill it Beautiful. And then imagine the fume if it's a 5th game where we've won it in injury time. And a 5th game, like, let's just hope it's really spawny, really lucky, goes in off someone's ass. You know what I mean?
I mean, is it ever going to get any more spawning than the Origi one, though, really, is it?
Oh,
That's kind of, I don't think that's ever going to be repeated.
Oh, you've just reminded me that the last time we played Everton at Anfield, I got a chant going on the cop.
Oh, yeah, you did?
I might try that again. So when Pickford was, like I said on the show at the time, but in case you missed it, when Pickford was walking towards the cop second half, I got Divock Origi going. And to be fair, he laughed. And I thought, fair fucks, that's the only time I've ever liked you in your life.
Yeah, you know. Stop clock is right twice a day and all that kind of gear. Right, okay, so that's all you're going to get from us today on the live show on YouTube, but we are doing a whole other show on Patreon if you didn't know. And that one, if you could see what I've got in store for you, I've got something very special for this fella over here. It's all about trying to make him feel better. And I know that you want to do that. I know that you want to help us out in trying to make him feel better. So come on over to Patreon. It's, how much is it?
£1 English per week for an extra hour show and access to every Patreon we've ever done.
All of them.
And if you want to know what we talk about on Patreon without us doing a big spiel here, just have a look on the YouTube channel. And we've been putting up a peek at the Patreon, which is easy for me to say. And it's just like little bits of, like little 15-minute bits taken from old Patreon. So you can have a look and go, oh, I get it. Because what we try and do is not just do another hour of footy chat. We go off on all mad tangents, because that's what the Late Challenge has always been about. Little mad tangents, mental health, aliens, CDs.
Plenty of that for you.
I think we nailed it with the CD chat, because it felt like that, that was definitely for our, what's the word?
Demographic.
That was the word.
See? See, if you want more absolutely lightning chemistry like this, then you will come over to Patreon. I've got loads more in store for you and for him as well. And we're going to be eating some crisps. So, I'm not even sure what more we can say to you. But for now, thank you for joining us. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already. But I know most of you have already. Oh, we got to 15, didn't we? We didn't mention that.
15,000,
we did get to 15,000. So thank you.
Thank you.
The power of positive speech. Thank you, all of you out there. I hope that you've already seen the benefit of that decision by coming and watching us over the course of this last hour and change. Well, hey, there's more to come. And if you're out there, you're wondering, you've got your finger hovering over the button, click it. Click it good. We'll see you later.
Divock Origi.